Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 51 of Bucs UK TV. We are joined by a very special guest this week. I don't mean Dom, I don't mean Graeme. I do, of course, mean Keith. Welcome.
Hey, thanks for having me. Looking forward to being on the show. Thank you.
Thank you. And we'll at the halfway point, we'll talk a little bit more about who this big nasty chap is and why he keeps cropping up in your life.
There you go.
But for the first thing, we'll make it short, we'll make it sweet, or as sweet as a bitter pill could be. We will talk about what happened in Washington. Keith, as guest, you get first dibs. We're not going to pour over this in too much detail, but what was your overall take on the game?
Not ready to play. I mean, right off, lack of discipline, the penalties, you can't have it. If you have, especially the beginning penalties where you can't even get out of your 3-point stance before getting a 5-yard penalty right off the top, breaks momentum. And then especially when you're playing away, and I don't care who you're playing. I mean, the Washington football team, which I still call them the Washington Redskins, they're still solid up front, but they just flat out whipped us. I mean, you can't say it was the refs like the Saints game. You got to look at it realistically. Those guys came ready to play like it was the Super Bowl. We came off like we just got off the bus and had a party last night. So I'm hoping, well, I'm not hoping, I know these guys are going to come ready to play on Monday Night Football. The nation's watching, and they got a full week and an extra couple days to prepare for this thing. And let's hope we get back in the win column.
Absolutely right. I think forward facing is good, but Dom, I mean, for those that weren't following us on Twitter, and if you do follow us on Twitter at Bucs UK, we had our social, didn't we? It's the first time the clubs ever got together to get people all across the UK to meet to actually watch a game live. Because normally we talk online virtually because we're all over sort of interstate kind of thing. And Dom, it was great to be together as a club to watch the game there, wasn't it? Even despite the loss.
It was amazing, Kieron. Can I just say, first of all, before anything else, what an honour it is to be on with Keith. And I've seen you on Twitter and on the telly so many times, and I've got a bit of tribute for you, mate. I hope you like this. I'll try and keep my microphone on.
Hey!
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I'll have to get your Bucs UK sticker to put on yours, mate.
I love it. I love it.
My hero. My hero. As for Sunday, it was fantastic, other than the game. The game was just ruined it for us. The actual gathering was wonderful to see so many Bucs fans come from the UK all over to put faces to the names. I've especially got to mention Stuart Hill and Andy Harwood and Ian Costain for giving me a massive headache on the Monday morning, because there was never a time when they wanted a pint of beer in front of me. And it was just a blast to see everybody. Unfortunately, the game, that was the thing. But we still had a good time. We still had a great time.
We did, and I'll insert some of the clips here from the evening. So you might want to just dial the volume down a little bit before I play those.
Tampa! Hey! Tampa! Hey! Tampa! Hey!
Graeme, from all the way up north, we know you couldn't make it to the social, but hey, we're up in Leeds in 2 weeks' time, everyone. If you're still around, Graeme, what can you find in that game that gives you some sort of hope going forwards?
I don't know. It's difficult. I think, like he said, just slow out the blocks. I mean, imagine you've got 2 weeks getting told no penalties, and the first thing you do is give up 5 yards on first down. Incredible. It just felt flat, completely flat all the way through the first half. Little flickering signs towards the end of the first half. The fact that we played so badly, but we're still maybe only 10 points down at half time, and then, but we just couldn't seem to get them off the field on the defensive side, and I don't know, the number of short dump off passes to Leonard Fournette. What was happening? I mean, was that the game plan? I just don't know. There's been stuff going around on social media showing some plays where Evans was wide open for a touchdown and he dumped it off short to Fournette. I just don't know. I can't get my head around the entire performance. Put it down to having a week off, just losing a bit of sharpness, and hopefully the Giants come into Raymond James this week with the same.
We'll open it up to all of you. I mean, for the passing game, let's stick with that for a little bit, because last time I looked at the roster and who was active and who was playing, we still had Tom Brady throwing it. We still had Mike Evans and Chris Godwin out wide, and we still got Cam Brate, red zone, king. So that should be able to go up against any team, let alone a Washington team that wasn't doing well against the pass.
Well, it proves, I think, how much we're missing AB and Gronk and how much Brady relies on him. I think I saw today that we've never lost when AB's been playing. I think it's 5 wins when he's been playing. And Gronk the same, not just with his catching ability, but with his blocking, obviously. But even so, as Graeme was saying, how many times was Evans open? And he just didn't. And Rojo just seems to be the forgotten man now, doesn't he? The run game was abandoned, but I know
missing
you're
in action. Yeah. Even Gio didn't get his usual few downs.
No, he didn't. He didn't. Very disappointing.
No, he actually dropped a pass and one, maybe two, certainly one pass early on, and just never really came back from that. Strange one.
No.
And let's just, for one last thing we'll mope over, and then I promise we'll move on. So the one other thing I want to talk about on the other side of the ball, I think the thing that, to use the Bucs phrase, put the dagger in us, was that 10-minute plus drive that the Washington team had at the end. I mean, Keith, that was just so dispiriting to watch, wasn't it?
It was like a slow death. That's exactly
it
what
was.
It was. It actually reminded me back of the old days when we didn't have a defense, we didn't have a pass rush, and you could just see it. It'd be like thinking and down, and then all of a sudden they're scored again, and they ate 10 minutes off the clock or so. I'll be honest with you guys, I lose so much patience with that. I don't know what it is about seeing that slow death, knowing that they're going to score and there's nothing you can do, and they're just breaking your will. And I got to tell you, everybody's talking about our DBs being hurt and this, that, and that. But I mean, let's face it. I mean, we had some sacks, but we didn't finish. I mean, there was a lot of times where we were so close. We had some possible picks. I mean, there was a couple balls bouncing in the right way for their direction to get some completions as well. But I mean, when we're talking about all the guys being wide open, guys, I got to be up front with you. If you ain't got an offensive line that's holding it for enough time for those guys to get long ball, guess what? They're not going to throw the long ball. They're going to get sacked. So I think early on, if you notice, Brady got rocked by Allen from the Redskins. I mean, rocked, and he beat what I say is our best offensive line, him and Wirf, obviously, but talking about Ali Marpet, I mean, he blew Ali up, and Ali had a rough game against Allen. If you go back and you watch, you'll see that pressure was coming right up the gut. And, when you got that, that's the closest distance to the quarterback is A to B. So I think we got to improve on that. I was listening to Ali today, or not yet today, yesterday with Casey. And one of the things Ali was saying is we got to get back to running the ball. Let's get our run offense running, because I tell you what, then you're not dropping back 3rd and 10, 3rd and 12. You're doing the dinks and the dunks where, you got our boy that can actually pick up those 5 yards, and we're not looking at it like, what's this dinking and dunking? It's for a first down. So we are always playing from behind. I mean, I like what you said earlier. You said, hey, bottom line is we were down 6 points. I mean, we were like within a score and 2 scores to win the game. I mean, but you got to stop them. And, hopefully our grave diggers will get out of the injury zone and back on the field. I'm hoping 23 can get back quick. That would be a huge lift. But we'll see about Davis. It's almost like, you guys ever look at this and go, man, this is one long season, and all it is that in one game, right? But then you start thinking, boy, if these guys all heal up for the last run, right? Let's just say it's the last 5 games. It's like, oh my God, deja vu, right? So, and let's face it, the NFC is tight right now. I mean, now look at, I can't stand them, but Cam's back in Carolina now, and I'm like, man, we could never get an easy one, right? So we still got to play them twice. So, you got to look at it. You lose Jameis, we go into the Saints, we lose, right? You can't play scrub ball. And what I mean by scrub ball is lack of discipline play. And these guys got to start playing to their potential, which they know they can, and stop looking at it that it's that, oh, this is an easy win or whatever. They got to come all out on every game.
I think that's absolutely right. And we have a segment of the foot we call it sort of like the magic wand moment. If you're BA, what are you going to wave your wand at this week? And I think it sounds like for you, it's that sort of focus and the healing up.
Yeah, focus and healing up, especially because there's a real big guy. Holy smoly, what's his name? Mr. Villa, that's hurt right now. And I don't know if you guys heard, guess who's coming back this week?
Barkley. It wasn't as bad as we hoped.
Yeah.
Well, Barkley's coming back for the Giants. So I'm hoping and praying that he's back this week so we can keep that run stopping. And, if Nacho's got to be first string, then Nacho's got to step up, because we don't need Mr. Barkley having a field day on us on the run game. So got to stop the run and then go attack. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. We'll talk about the Giants more, folks. But maybe, Graeme, if you just give us your magic wand, where are you going to wave it this week?
Well, I'm usually on penalties. I'm big on penalties, and I wave the magic wand to try and stop those silly penalties. I think there was at least one time that we gave up a 5-yard penalty on 3rd and 5 and gave up a first down on it. Just a crazy situation to do that. And I was at 4th and 5. It was one of those. But I'm going with the injuries this time. I think we need to get the injured players back. We're losing far too many. We've talked about defensive backs for weeks and weeks, but Gronk is such a big miss. You see it in these big games, such a miss. So we need him back. We need to have these guys fighting fit, and it'll be good to have them all back towards the end of the season. But I think we need to have them back sooner than that, to be honest with you. I think if we lose too much ground, then we're out the seedings. Even if we get into the playoffs, we're going to have to do another 4 road trips to get to win the Super Bowl again, which I think is going to be a real tough ask. So
it's a big ask. Yeah.
Need the injuries back. Yeah, I need the injured players back now.
Okay. And Dom, your magic wand?
Well, thanks to Graeme, but I'm going to isolate the penalties one. All I want, this shouldn't be too hard. Just don't jump offside. I mean, it shouldn't be that hard. I don't understand why it's so hard.
Oh, no movie, movie.
And it's not like Heineke was, he was not like drawing them offside or anything. They were just doing it for fun, weren't they? Just all taking the first play of the game, wasn't it? OJ Howard jumped offside. There's nothing frustrates me more. Well, I'm sure Bruce was a bit frustrated as well about it, but God, it pissed. Wound me up so much. It just jumping offside.
I think Bruce feels when you see he's got that walkie-talkie thing strapped on. I'm convinced it's got like a cardiac or like a pacemaker or something in there as well, just to like reset him up when he's going. I think my magic wand I'm going to put towards Devin White. Like, don't get me wrong. We love the Bucs. We know they're all good players. He's a great player. He's definitely trying. I'm not criticizing him, but it feels like he's clinging on a little bit too hard. I think he's trying to do it all by himself. I think, you know, when the game starts to get away, he's you know, over pursuing a little bit, or, you know, missing the tackles. I think we just need to play our game, and if Devin plays his game, we know it's an amazing game. So that's just a quick one for me. We do, of course, have the views of our members as well, who, they weren't in London getting drunk with Dom, they were on the message board as usual, giving their views. So first of all, I think Stuart sums it all up nicely for all of us. I can't actually repeat what he said, but I think it was something of the order of, this was a below average performance. So yeah, we agree with you there, Stuart. Michael Casey, we're going to get the ball back with 10 seconds the way they're controlling this game. And I think we talked about that long drive. I think we all felt that frustration. JD John Davis, you'd be forgiven for wondering which team was 6-2 and which was 2-6. It was yet again Bucs making backup quarterbacks look like Pro Bowlers. He also says, we were outplayed tonight. Defeats either side of the bye week means we need an offensive rebooting quickly. I think he means rebooting the offense, but an offensive rebooting sounds like a verb probably I'm sure that BA is interested in doing. And from Nick Moore, allowing Washington to hold the ball for 11 odd minutes and drive 90 yards down the field was downright appalling. At least the Saints lost, silver linings and all of that. So absolutely, as long as it's all a relative measure. And Keith, you spoke about, you know, seeding and things, but I think, you know, winning the division is going to be a huge first step in the right direction if we can lock that up. We do have merchandise available. Speak on the forum. There's polos, t-shirts, all the stuff you can do there. Our usual thanks to Bucs Report for their help in promoting our podcast and the club. We have a great relationship with them. Please do subscribe. If you're in the UK and you're a Bucs fan, go to bucsuk.org and click on join. You'd be mad not to. There's 500 of us now. It's the most members we've ever had, and we want to keep getting bigger and bigger and better and better. And for that, we need you guys. And so, you know, like Dom says, when everyone turns up, it's an amazing feeling, and it's great to have that sort of group therapy together. If you're going out to Tampa, we're allowed to travel now. We've got people going at pretty much all of the games for the rest of the season, so we're really looking forward to catching up to Keith and the rest of the Ray J faithful. If you're out there, remember, please bring back some competition prizes. Please also make sure you tag us on all your photos. We want to see, even if you're just going down to, you know, Cape Kennedy, or you're hitting Disney. As long as you're wearing something Bucs, we want to see a picture of you stateside. So be sure to tag us, and we'll retweet you and get you get as much exposure and get you viral as possible. Keith, obviously we can't get you on the show without talking about your alter ego. It feels a bit like Jekyll and Hyde when Keith goes in the cupboard on a Sunday morning and comes out grease painted. So, I mean, you know, we know that you do loads of stuff with NFL UK. We see you in clips and montages all the time, you know. But I think what would be really nice is, you know, tell us a little bit about how all of this began, and then also maybe, while the others are thinking of some questions for you, then tell us all a bit about the latest stuff, because we are so proud of you for being in the Fan Hall of Fame. So tell us a bit about that as well.
Wow, it's just bringing it full circle, right? God, we've been doing this over 35 years. I can remember, God rest my brother's soul, he broke up with his girlfriend, and he said, "Hey, man," I said, "Dude, we got to get you pumped up. Here it is. Always starts with family and football, right?" And I said, "Hey, why don't we paint up and go to the game?" So to give you an idea, guys, the first game as the colored face painting, because back then, I don't know if you've seen those old photos of people wearing bags over their heads. That's what the vision was back then. So me painting up like an orange pumpkin definitely has evolved over the years. But we took my brother to the game, and we tied one on and had a blast. And it was the Battle of the Pigs. It was against the Packers and the Bucs. And when I say the Battle of the Pigs, because they were the two worst teams in the NFL at the time. And we had such a great response because Packer fans travel well. So we were taking photos back then, left and right. And so we said, hey, you know what? We'll just paint up for the Packer game, right? Well, obviously that, it ended up being a tie. So that was even worse. But then you go back and you look over the years, we would just paint up for that game. And then in 2001, I got the phone call from Visa, and Pro Football Hall of Fame is becoming a first-time Hall of Famer, which was absolutely amazing. I mean, you look back in 2001, you go, jeepers, that's, what else could be done? You're in the Hall of Fame. That's pretty cool. Then Visa bails out because of sponsorship issues with the NFL. And then all of a sudden you fast forward to 2020 and old Ford knocks on the door with the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And I'm aware of, there's only two-time Hall of Famers in Pro Football Hall of Fame, and that's myself as Big Nasty, which I look at, we represent Buck Nation, man. That's what it's about. Because, when you go into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, believe it or not, we've been around over 40 years, but we're still not well known. And to be seen and having a bronze plaque permanently enshrined in Pro Football Hall of Fame with old Big Nasty's mugshot on there, and just makes me very proud to represent Buck Nation. And hey, we're in there, guys. We're in there for eternity. My grandkids, their grandkids after that could go to the hall and see Big Nasty represent our Buck Nation and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the best way possible. But, how did this evolve? Did you do it because you thought you were going to get there? Hell no. I did it because I was trying to cheer my brother up, right? And we just had fun with it. We didn't look at being on TV or any of that stuff. That just evolved over the what I call tenure, right? You've been doing it that many years, and let's face it, I can tell you, the first time I painted up that orange face paint, they didn't even have spray on tans back then, guys. But that stuff stained my face. I had to go to work looking like that. Looked like an orange pumpkin going to work the next day. It was crazy. But it's all been fun, and then when we got recognition, I remember the Hogettes, and I don't know if you guys know who the Hogettes are. They're all retired now, but they're the Washington Redskins of all teams, cheerleaders. And these guys are all retired colonels, and they wear dresses and hog noses. They raised over $100 million for children's charities. And Boss Hogette came up to me when I got in the hall in 2001 and said, "Hey, Big Nasty, you got to go down to Tampa and do something big." I said, "Well, what do you mean do something big? I don't know what you're talking about. I just know how to paint my face and go have fun and love my Bucks." He goes, "No, you got to do something in the community." Like, I still don't know what the heck he was talking about. So he goes, "You'll figure it out. Those guys have raised over $100 million for children's charities over the years." And, there was 19 of those guys. I don't know if you all saw on Facebook, me doing a tug of war with those guys. And Mikey T, believe it or not, is a retired nuclear engineerist. And we've been good friends for a very long time. And so I ended up coming back home, and I was like, what am I going to do? All of a sudden, how fate works out. I get a call from a police officer wanting to do a ride along with a community outreach. And what that ride along is, guys, when you go with a police officer for the day and you experience what they go through in their 12-hour shift. And just to give you an idea, it was an eye-opening experience for me. I noticed not so close to my backyard, drugs were running wild. And we're talking with kids. And I can remember telling the officer to this day, I said, "Man, these drugs are nasty." And then he goes, "Hey, have you ever thought about, doing community outreach and going and talking to the schools and saying, just say no?" And I went, "Drugs are nasty," because I just had said it, right? And it hit me. So I started doing that. Jeepers, that was when my daughter was in kindergarten. She just graduated University of South Florida with her finance degree last December. So just goes to show you full circle, the community outreach you do. And then you've seen it before, where we take a game day experience and we route it out for local charities. Literally, guys, at the beginning of the season, as soon as that schedule comes out, my phone blows up and everybody wants to get a game. Unfortunately, we can't give everybody a game, but we try to do our best to alternate the charities so they could take advantage of it. And they do a live auction. And real simple, it's Nasty for a day. They get to experience a day with myself, come to front row tickets with me. They get a customized Nasty Crew jersey. And all you can eat Cheesecake Factory or tailgate with the Leatherheads. It just depends on, what it falls on, since it's the night game. Believe it or not, Monday Night Football, we have a Nasty for a Day participant that'll be coming. And UK NFL is going to be doing something with us, something about Thanksgiving and Big Nasty, and I'm sure it's going to have a lot to do with eating. So this should be a good time. But no, very proud of what the persona has given me a platform to do good. Over the years, I think I got more recognition, not so much as far as being a Buck fan, but just by doing good. And when it's all said and done and Big Nasty's retired and rolls in, I'll still be going to games till the day I die. But I just hope that people remember me as just doing good, and hopefully it'll motivate them. Well, I don't care if it's helping an old lady across the street. Do something with act of kindness to your fellow brothers and sisters. And that's really what it's about. And let's face it, I'm very blessed to have a family that puts up with this. Mrs. Nasty, Princess Nasty. You guys saw us when we went to London. And by the way, let me get this off my chest right now. UK, unfreaking believable. When we went to London, I thought I was Bon Jovi. I'm just telling you right now. You guys treated us like we were like God. It was unbelievable. But even then, I was more impressed with how you guys just open arms, welcomed everybody. I was really, really excited about being in the stadium and seeing fans of football left and right. And I went, wow, man, look at the passion here in UK. And unfortunately, we lost to the damn Panthers that day, but we still had a damn good time. And by the way, you got to correct me if I'm wrong. Is it called Steak and Ale?
Steak and ale pie.
Yeah.
You want me to move there? You want me to move there? Just give me a lifetime supply of that. And
Hey, I had that tonight. I had steak and ale pie tonight.
Be careful, Keith. If you ask for that,
favorite.
Big Nasty might be retiring sooner than you think. Thank you. And I think that's really what you give such a good sort of explanation of it all. I think it's not just about being in the front row screaming, and we see you there with your daughter, and it's great to see. But actually, it's the off the field, it's the outside the stadium stuff that we really admire you for. Dom and Graeme, have you got any questions?
I've got one. Have you visited all the other stadiums? And if not, is there one that you particularly want to go to as Big Nasty?
I haven't reached all of them. And it's funny because we were talking about that retirement thing. And even if I retire it at home, I still want to finish my bucket list of all the stadiums I haven't been to. I know I've never been to Arizona. I want to hit that. I got to see LA this past year. Well, this year we got to go, but been to Chicago, I'm going to New York for the Jets game. But I'm just trying to, my wife bought me this map, right? and a lot of them are scribbled over, you're good, but there's still a lot of places I want to go. I want to go to San Francisco. I want to hit everyone that I haven't been to. I can tell you I've had phenomenal experiences everywhere I've gone. Everybody fears Philly. Let me tell you something. Philadelphia must have been one of the best places I've ever visited. Just going to tell you that right now. I was so impressed. I went with Sean Young. There's a Hall of Fame fan from the Eagles. He recently retired, but he still goes to the game. These guys are so crazy up there that they didn't, you're going to get a curse word here and there. Yeah, just common, but they were so upset with Sean for letting me sit with Sean that they actually threw a beer at Sean, not at me, at Sean.
Wow.
So that just goes crazy. But on the other hand, I got to meet some awesome people. I got to meet Harold Carmichael back in the day. He was the wide receiver for the Eagles with Jaws. And when we beat their butts here in Tampa, that was huge. I'll never forget that as a child. I got to meet Vince Papale. I don't know if you know who that is with the movie. That's a serious underdog. I think can't remember the name of the movie, Unbelievable or something like that. But really, really cool place to go. And everywhere I go, you treat people with respect, they give you respect back.
Oh, well done, mate.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the things I was going to ask. What kind of reaction do you get from fans, away fans, more so?
Well, you know, it's funny you say that. When I'm big nasty, guys, you're going to think I'm cuckoo. It's like I got a lot of pro wrestling friends, you know, like the Nasty Boys, you know, believe it or not, Hulk Hogan. I know all those guys.
Right.
But there's like game day, it's like it's funny, you know, I put the face paint on and I'm complaining while I'm doing it because I'm getting old. And then all of a sudden it clicks. And it's like you go into this, I don't know, another persona. You just let me put in plain words. There's a million people out there that call Keith Kunzig an a-hole. There's not one person out there that can say Big Nasty's an a-hole. So what I mean by that is that persona clicks. It's like nothing could dent your armor. It's more like you're just there to make everybody have a good time. And, you know, even when you're not having a good time, if you're losing, you still got to leave, you know, with the chin up and moving forward. But no, I think you need to ask Mrs. Nasty that question because she normally follows behind me. And it's not so the reaction of everybody wanting your picture. You want to know what they're saying after that you pass them.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Keith.
My pleasure.
Okay, so this week, as ever, on our forum, we had our prize competition for our members. Every week we run prize competitions as well as the fantasy football and the predictors that run across the season. And this week there's a two-way tie. So rather than drawing names out of a hat, we always do it where we're honest. We always use the wheel of names. So I'm just going to share that and we can do that now. So the competition this week was to guess the score for the game. And wow, you two guys must have been really pessimistic because you kind of got that right. So Alfie Fletcher, Alison Mills, you were on the wheel of names. We wish you both luck, but there's only going to be one winner. Here we go.
Oh.
Alfie, you are a winner. Well done, sir.
Well done, Alfie.
Nice one.
Congratulations.
We will get those prizes to you ASAP. So all we have left to do now is to come on and look forwards. We're always looking forwards. We're on to New York, although we're not on to New York because they're coming down south. They're coming to the Ray J. It's Monday Night Football, and let's hope it's about to get personal. So, Dom, let's start with you. What do you think is the biggest key to the game then for Bucs and the Giants to come out on the right side?
Well, I think Keith summed it up earlier. It's all about Mr. Barkley, how fit he is, because he's one hell of a player. I remember when he was being drafted, I just hoped he was going to drop. We got Devin White, I think we were fifth, weren't we? But the talk was he was going to drop for us. He's been very unlucky with injuries. And with Vita Vea being out, it's going to be massive. If we can stop him, stop the run game, put pressure on Jones. I mean, we've made Heineke and Blooming Simeon, was it? Is it for the
Trevor Simeon?
Yeah, for the Saints look like Hall of Famers.
Be careful what you wish for, because behind Daniel Jones is Mike Glennon.
I saw that. Yeah, Glennon is back. I mean, normally,
I think he must still be taking a paycheck from the Bears, surely.
Yeah, crazy. But I think mainly Barkley. But
okay,
be my key.
That's a good key to the game, Keith.
Actually, you know, I brought up Barkley, but I think honestly we got to get that pressure because you know you stop the run. We're pretty solid at that. We've been doing it pretty good all year. I think we had one game where we actually had over 100 yards, but you got to get that pressure on it, and hopefully like Warren Sapp always says, let the front end help the back end. Right. And when you're weaker in the back end right now, hopefully we get Mr. 23 back and we'll be ready to roll. We'll patch that grave diggers back up and get these guys to stops. But I'm going to tell you guys, it's not going to be an easy game. It's going to be a tough one. They play us tough. I mean, they played us tough up there. They beat us down here. So hopefully we can come alive on Monday night. The 12th man, you're going to make a difference. You got to bring it come Monday night. That's right. Tie one on, call in Tuesday sick. It don't matter. But you better bring it on Monday night, because I'll tell you right now, Big Nasty doesn't sing it. He brings it.
And absolutely. And for us, Monday Night Football is great because it's prime time, but for us, it kicks off at 1:30 a.m. Tuesday morning. So I've definitely got the next day booked off. I'm imagining Graeme is probably developing a bit of a throat infection as we speak. He won't be able to go in, will you, Graeme?
Probably not. No, I haven't booked it off, so I think it might just be a sleepless night. But we'll see how we go.
So what's your key to the game, though?
Well, I think I'm kind of tying in with both the guys there up front for me. I think if Villa's fit, that's a huge key for us. They've got the left tackle. I think it is Andrew Thomas has been out injured 2 or 3 games, and he's likely to come back. So it could be we could see both Barkley and Thomas. We could see neither of them. I think that's going to be key for them. If they get these 2 guys back, it's going to make a big difference to their running game. That's a big matchup for me.
Interesting. I think I kind of think if I'm focusing on the Giants' offense as well, because I think that's where we need to step up, and the key is going to be how their offense performs against our defense. And actually, the running game, I'm not so bothered about. It's the receivers that worry me. I'm looking at it seems like it's a bit of a who's who of fancy football. Carl Rudolph at tight end with one side, with Evan Engram the other, Kenny Golladay, Darius Slayton. Those are some big time names actually. If whoever's slinging it to them can actually get it in the right ballpark, then I think that's going to be a worry, I think. Yeah. So, I think it's all to play for. So for me, the key to the game, I think, is going to be, hopefully, like you said, Keith, the up front buying more pressure to make it easier at the back 4 or 5, and see how that pans out. So in terms of particular players you want to keep an eye out for, obviously I've said a few names there. Who for the Bucs do you think is going to be the deciding factor? Start with you, Keith.
Oh, Shaq. It's going to be Shaq. Shaq. I don't know if you watched the last game. I didn't see much on Shaq. So it was like, where's Shaq? Did he show up today? Yeah. But, it's very, very hard. I mean, I'm pressed if you can go back to see if Shaq's been quiet 2 games in a row. I don't think that's happened.
I don't think Shaq even made a line in the game book. I don't think he got anything.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, Monday Night Football, it's something when you turn on those lights on national television where the whole world sees. I could see Shaq having a big game.
Dom, do you agree, or are you looking for another name on the sheet?
Well, I agree, but it's all about playoff Lenny for me. I think if we can match the runs with the passes, and I think Lenny's just going to light it up. Similar, I don't think he had a quiet game. He'll not have another quiet-ish game. I think 150 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bring it.
No. And if one of those is in the air, then I'll be grateful I've still got Brady starting in my fantasy team.
Yes, mate.
Graeme?
I'm looking at the linebacking core for Tampa Bay. I think they're the guys that are going to make a difference in this game. Hopefully Villa's playing. Hopefully we can stuff the run. But Jones has caused us problems when he gets running, and has caused other teams problems once he gets on the move. So I think the linebackers are going to have to be careful that they don't let him loose. So for me, these are the guys that are going to really, hopefully, kind of tie him up.
Brilliant. I think I'll agree with you. I'll agree with Keith, but I'm going to go JPP. Okay, because he knows the team. He knows what it's expected. It's going to be a big game for him. He's going to be pumped up.
He'll be up for it.
Absolutely, and I think as we all say, it all starts up front, and if we can get that going, then I think good things happen. But we need you to put your money where your mouth is. We want score predictions. Graeme, what's it going to look like when the clock ticks down?
2019 Tampa Bay.
Ooh, a squeaky time. We'll take it. I'd rather win ugly than lose ugly. Fair enough.
I'll take 1-0, but 2019.
Wow.
It's not Canadian rules. We can't have 1-0.
Well,
then, Dom, what are you going to call it?
More comfortable. I'm ignoring the other 2. We're going 31-17. We're going to come good on national television, and then we're just going to go all the way for the number 1 seed. Trust me. I'm never wrong.
I like your
That's
confidence.
a face you can trust, eh?
I wouldn't buy a car from you, but I'll take your word on that one. Fair enough.
Thank you.
Keith?
I think it's going to be closer. I think we're going to go 23-12 Bucs. So I think it'll be an entertaining game, but I think we'll pull away at the end.
Oh, I really hope that doesn't include a missed PAT somewhere to get to 23 as well. My heart can't take any more of that. I'm going to say 28-12. So it's basically 4-4, but we're getting in the end zone and they're having to kick field goals. That's what I'm thinking is going to be the difference. It's going to be a territory game. So you heard it here. You heard what we think. If you disagree with us, or perhaps if you agree with us, probably not Dom, but if you agree with the rest of us, stick it down in the comments. Let us know, and make sure you like the video, subscribe, hit the bell, do all the stuff the crazy cool kids do. Follow us on the social media. Graeme and Dom, thank you so much, and Keith, thank you ever so much. It's been lovely having you.
Love you guys. I appreciate you having me. And let's get that Buccaneer win on Monday night.
Yes, Keith.
Absolutely.
Come on.
Thank you all, and thank you for watching, and go Bucs!
Go Bucs!
Go Bucs!